We've drunk the soup and eaten the fish and chips and the English salad. The children have drunk English water. We've eaten well this evening. That's because we live in the suburbs of London and because our name is Smith.
Ugh.
Potatoes are very good fried, in fact. The salad oil was not rancid. The oil from the grocer at the corner of the street is better quality than the oil from the grocer across the street. It is even better than the oil from the grocer at the bottom of the street. However, I prefer not to tell them that their oil is bad. However, the oil from the grocer at the corner is still the best. Mary did the potatoes very well this evening. Last time she did not do them well. I do not like them when they're well done. The fish was fresh. It made my mouth water. I had 2 helpings. No, 3 helpings. You also had 3 helpings. However, the 3rd time, you took less than the first 2 times. While as for me, I took a great deal more. I eat better than you this evening. Why is that? Usually it is you who eats more. It is not appetite you lack. But still, the soup was perhaps a little too salt. It was saltier than you. It also had too many leeks and not enough onions. I regret I didn't advise Mary to add some aniseed stars. The next time, I'll know better. Our little boy wanted to drink some beer at table. Did you notice how he stared at the bottle? But I poured some water from the jug into his glass. He was thirsty, and he drank it. Helen is like me. She's a good manager, thrifty, plays the piano. She never asks to drink English beer. She's like a little daughter who drinks only milk and eats only porridge. It's obvious that she's only 2. She's named Peggy. The quince and beans pie was marvellous. It would have been nice, perhaps, to have a small glass of Australian Burgundy with a sweet, but I did not bring the bottle to the table because I did not wish to set the children a bad example of gluttony. They must learn to be sober and temperate. Mrs. Parker knows a Romanian grocer by the name of Popescu Rosenfeld, who's just come from Constantinople. He's a great specialist in yogurt. He has a diploma from the School of Yogurt Making in Adrianople. Tomorrow, I shall buy a large pot of native Romanian yogurt from him. One doesn't often find such things here in the suburbs of London. Yogurt is excellent for the kidneys, the stomach, the appendicitis, and apotheosis. It was Dr. Mackenzie King who told me that. He's the one who takes care of the children of the neighbours, the Jones. He's a good doctor. One can trust him. He never prescribes any medicine he's not tried out on himself first. Before operating on Parker, he had his own liver operated on first, although he was not the least bit ill.
But how is it that the doctor pulled through while Parker died?
Because the operation was successful in the doctor's case, and it wasn't on Parker's.
And Mackenzie is not a good doctor. The operation should have succeeded with both of them, or else both should have died.
Why?
A conscientious doctor must die with his patient if they can't get well together. The captain of a ship goes down with his ship into the briny deep. He does not survive alone.
I never thought of that. One cannot compare a patient with a ship.
And why not? A ship has its diseases too. Moreover, your captain is as hale as a ship. That's why he should have perished at the same time as his patient, like the captain and his ship.
I never thought that. Perhaps it is true. And then, what conclusion do you draw from this?
All doctors are quacks. And all patients too. Only the Royal Navy is honest in England.
But not sailors.
Naturally. Here's one thing I don't understand. In the newspaper, they always give the age of deceased persons, but never the age of the newly born. That doesn't make any sense.
I never thought of that.
It says here that Bobby Watson died.
My God! The poor man! When did he die?
Why do you pretend to be astonished? You know very well he's been dead these past 2 years. Surely you remember we attended his funeral 1.5 years ago.
Yes, of course I remember. I remembered it right away, but I don't understand why you yourself were so surprised to see it in the paper.
I didn't see it in the paper. It's been 3 years since his death was announced. I remembered it through an association of ideas.
What a pity. He was so well preserved.
He was the handsomest corpse in Great Britain. He didn't look his age. Poor Bobby. He'd been dead nearly 4 years, and yet he was still warm. A veritable living corpse. And how cheerful he was.
Poor Bobby.
Which poor Bobby do you mean?
It is his wife that I mean. She's called Bobby too. Bobby Watson. Since they both had the same name, you could never tell one from another when you saw them together. It was only after his death that you could really tell which was which. And there are still people today who confuse her with the deceased and offer their condolences to him. Do you know her?
I only met her once, by chance, at Bobby's burial.
I've never seen her. Is she pretty?
She has regular features, and yet one can't say that she is pretty. She's a little too big and stout. Her features are not regular, and yet one can say that she is very pretty. She's a little too small and thin. She's a voice teacher. Next spring at the latest.
We shall have to go to their wedding, I suppose.
We shall have to get them a wedding present. I wonder what.
Why don't we give them one of the 7 silver salvers that were given to us for our wedding and which have never been of any use for us? How sad for her to be left a widow so young.
Fortunately, they had no children.
That was all they needed. Children! The poor woman, how could she have managed?
She's still young. She could very well remarry. She looks so well in mourning.
But who will take care of the children? You know very well that they have a boy and a girl. What are their names?
Bobby and Bobby, like their parents. Bobby Watson's uncle, old Bobby Watson, is quite rich and very fond of the boy. He might very well pay for the boy's education.
That would be proper. And Bobby Watson's aunt, old Bobby Watson, might very well in her turn pay for the education of Bobby Watson's daughter. That way Bobby Watson's mother could remarry. Has she anyone in mind?
Yes, a cousin of Bobby Watson's.
Who? Bobby Watson?
Which Bobby Watson do you mean?
Why, Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's other uncle.
No. It's not that one. It's Bobby Watson, the son of old Bobby Watson, the late Bobby Watson's aunt.
Are you referring to Bobby Watson, the commercial traveller?
All the Bobby Watsons are commercial travellers.
What a difficult trade. However, they do well at it.
Yes, when there's no competition.
And when is there no competition?
On Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Tuesdays.
3 days a week? And what does Bobby Watson do on those 3 days?
He rests and he sleeps.
But why doesn't Bobby Watson work those 3 days if there's no competition?
I don't know everything. I can't answer only idiotic questions.
Are you trying to humiliate me?
You know very well that I'm not.
Men are all alike! You sit there all day long, a cigarette in your mouth, or you powder your nose and rouge your lips 50 times a day, or else you drink like a fish.
And what would you say if you saw men acting like women do? Smoking all day, powdering, rouging your lips and drinking whiskey?
It's nothing to me! But if you're only saying that to annoy me! I don't care for that kind of joking, you know that very well.
Oh, my little ducky daddles, what a little spitfire you are! You know I only meant that as a joke. Yes, I did. What a ridiculous pair of old lovers we are. Come, let's go to bed and go bye-byes.
I am the maid. I have spent a very lovely afternoon. I went to the cinema with a man and watched a movie with some women. Then after the cinema we went to drink some brandy and milk. Oh, and we also read the newspaper.
I hope that you spent a pleasant afternoon, that you went to the cinema with a man, and that you drank some brandy and milk.
And the newspaper.
Mr. and Mrs. Martinez, your guests, are at the door. They were waiting for me. They didn't dare come in by themselves. They were supposed to have dinner with you this evening.
Oh, yes, we were expecting them, and we were hungry. Since they didn't put up an appearance, we were about to start dinner without them. We had nothing to eat all day. You should not have gone out!
But it was you who gave me permission.
Well, we didn't do it on purpose.
Oh, okay. I bought me a chamber pot.
Dear Mary, please go and open the door for Mr. and Mrs. Martinez and ask them to step in. We will change quickly.
Perfect. Now I will go and open the door.
Excuse me, madam, but it seems to me, unless I'm mistaken, that I met you somewhere before?
I do say it. It seems to me like I met you somewhere before.
Was it by any chance at Madrid that I got a glimpse of you, madam?
That is very possible. I am originally from the city of Madrid, but I do not have a good memory, sir. I cannot say whether it was there that I got a glimpse of you or not.
Good God! How curious it is! I too am originally from the city of Madrid, madam.
That is curious.
Isn't that curious? Only I, madam, I left the city of Madrid about 5 weeks ago.
That is curious.
Isn't that curious? Only I, madam, I left the city of Madrid about 5 weeks ago.
Oh,
Madam, I took the 8:30 morning train, which arrived London 4:45.
That is curious. How very bizarre. What a coincidence. I took the same train, sir. I too.
How curious it is! And what a coincidence! Perhaps it was on the train that I saw you, madame.
It is indeed possible. That is not at all unlikely. It is plausible. And after all, why not? But I do not believe that I recall it, my dear sir.
I traveled second class. There is no second class in England, but I always traveled second class.
That is curious. How very bizarre. And what a coincidence. I do, sir. I travel second class.
How curious it is. And what a coincidence. Perhaps we have met in second class.
It is indeed possible after all, but I do not believe that I recall it, my dear sir.
My seat was in coach number 8, compartment number 6, my dear lady.
Oh, how curious it is and how bizarre. My seat was also on coach number 8, compartment number 6, my dear sir.
How curious it is. And what a coincidence. Perhaps we have met in compartment number 6, my dear lady.
Oh, it is indeed possible after all, but I do not recall it, my dear sir.
To tell the truth, my dear lady, I do not remember it either. However, it is very possible that we caught a glimpse of each other there. And as I think of it, it seems to me even very likely.
Oh, truly, of course. Truly, sir.
I had seat number 3 next to the window, my dear lady.
Oh, Dios mío, how curious and bizarre. I had seat number 6 next to the window across from you, my dear sir.
How curious it is. And what a coincidence. Then, madame, we were seated facing each other. It was perhaps there that we must have seen each other.
How curious it is. It is indeed possible, but I do not remember very well, my dear sir.
To tell the truth, my dear lady, I do not remember either. However, it is very possible that we caught a glimpse of each other.
It is true, but I'm not at all sure of it, sir.
Were you not the lady who asked me to place her suitcase in the luggage rack, who thanked me and gave me permission to smoke, my dear lady?
But of course, that must have been I. How curious it is. How curious it is. Oh, what a coincidence.
Well then. Perhaps it was there that we came to know each other, madame?
How curious it is. It is indeed possible after all, but I do not believe that I recall it, my dear sir.
Nor do I, madame. Since coming to London, I have resided in Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
How curious it is. I too, since coming to London, I reside in Broomfield Street. My dear sir.
How curious it is. How curious it is, and what a coincidence. Perhaps we have met in Bromfield Street, my dear lady.
How curious it is. It is indeed possible after all, but I do not believe that I recall.
I reside in number 19, my dear lady.
How curious it is. I also resided in number 19.
Well then, perhaps we have met in that house, my dear lady.
How curious it is. It is indeed possible after all. But I do not believe that I recall it, my dear sir.
My flat was in the 5th floor, number 8. my dear lady.
Oh, madre mia. How curious and bizarre. I also reside in the 5th floor on flat number 8. My dear son.
How curious it is. How curious it is. And bizarre. You know, madam, in my bedroom, there is a bed. And it is covered for a green eiderdown. This room with the bed and the green eiderdown is in the end of the corridor between the WC and the bookcase, my dear lady.
What a coincidence. Madre mia, what a coincidence. My room also have a bed with a green eiderdown. And it's also at the end of the corridor between the bookshelf and the WC. Oh, my dear.
How curious it is. Strange. My dear lady, them, we live in the same room. And we sleep in the same bed. It was perhaps there that we have seen each other.
Curious it is.
I,
It is indeed possible that we have met there.
yeah.
Probably even last night. But I do not believe that I recall it, my dear.
Oh, yeah. I have a little girl. My little girl. She lives with me, madam. She's 2 years old. She has a white eye and a red eye. She is very pretty. Her name is Alice, my dear lady.
What a bizarre coincidence. I have a little girl too. Yes, she's 2 years old, she's very pretty, she has a white eye and a red eye. And her name is Alice too, my dear sir.
How curious it is. What a coincidence. And bizarre. Perhaps they are the same.
It is indeed possible after all.
Then, madam, I believe that there can be no doubt about it. We have seen each other before. And you are my own wife. Isabel! Isabel! I have found you again, coño!
Ramon,
Isabel is not Isabel, and Ramon is not Ramon. And in here is the proof. The child that Ramon spoke of is not Isabel's daughter. They are not the same person. In fact, Ramon's child has one white eye and one red eye, just like Isabel's. Whereas Ramon's child has one white eye and one red left eye. And instead, Isabel's daughter has one white left eye and one red eye. Thus, all of Ramon's system of deduction collapses when he comes up against this last obstacle, which destroys his whole theory. In spite of all coincidences which seem to be definite proof, Isabel and Ramon, not being the parents of the same child, are not Isabel and Ramon. It is in vain that she thinks she's Isabel, and it is in vain that he believes he's Ramon. She thinks he's Ramon, and he thinks she's Isabel. They are sadly deceived. But who is the real Ramon? And who is the real Isabel? And who has any interest in prolonging this confusion? I don't know. I don't know. And you know what? Let's not know. Let's leave things exactly as they are. My real name is Sherlock Holmes.
Darling, let's forget everything that has not passed between us. And now that we have found each other, let's try to don't lose each other anymore. And live as before.
Yes, darling.
Good evening, dear friends. Please forgive us for having made you wait so long. We thought that we should extend you to the courtesy to which you are entitled. And as soon as we learned that you were kind enough to give us the pleasure of coming to see us without prior notice, we hurried to dress for the occasion.
We've had nothing to eat all day, and we waited 4 whole hours for you. Why have you come so late? Hmm?
Oh, that definitely.
We all have colds.
Nevertheless, it's not chilly.
There's no draught.
No, fortunately.
Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear.
Don't you feel well?
No, he's wet his pants.
Oh, sir, at your age, you should know.
The heart is ageless.
That's true.
So they say.
They also say the opposite.
The truth lies somewhere between the two.
That's true.
Since you travel so much, you must have many interesting things to tell us.
Tell us, darling, what you have seen today.
It's scarcely worth the trouble, for no one would believe me.
Oh, we wouldn't dare question your sincerity.
It will offend us if you think that.
You will offend them if you think like that, my dear.
Well, and today I witnessed something extraordinary, something really incredible.
Tell us quickly, darling.
This is going to be amusing.
At last.
Well, today when I went shopping to buy some vegetables, which are getting to be dear and dear.
Where is this all going to end?
You shouldn't interrupt, my dear. It's very rude.
Well, at the end of the street, near a cafe, I saw a man, properly dressed, about 25 years old, or not even that, who...
Who what?
Who what?
Don't interrupt, my dear. You're disgusting.
My dear, it was you who interrupted first, you bore.
Hush!
Well, I'm sure you're going to think that I'm making this up, but he was down on one knee and he was bent over.
Oh.
Yes, bent over.
Not possible.
Yes, bent over. I went near him to see what he was doing.
And?
He was tying his shoelace, which had come undone.
Fantastic!
Fantastic.
Well, if anyone else had told me this, I would not have believed it.
Why not? One sees things even more extraordinary when one walks around. For instance, today, in the underground, I myself saw a man quietly sitting on his seat, reading his newspaper.
What a character!
Perhaps this was the same man. Goodness, someone is ringing!
There must be someone there. I'll go and see. No one.
I'll give you another example.
Goodness, someone is ringing!
There must be someone there. I'll go and see. Nobody.
You were saying that you were going to give us another example.
Yes.
Goodness, someone is ringing!
I'm not going to open the door again.
But there must be someone there.
The first time, there was no one. The second time, no one. Why do you think there's someone there now?
Because someone has rung.
That's no reason.
What? When one hears the doorbell ringing means someone is at the door ringing to have the door open.
Not always. You just think otherwise.
In most cases, yes.
As for me, when I go to visit someone, I ring in order to be admitted. I think that everyone does the same, and that when one hears the doorbell ring, it means there's always someone there.
That is true in theory. But in reality, things happen differently. You've just seen otherwise.
Your wife is right.
You women, you always stand up for each other.
Well, I'll go and see. You can't say that I'm obstinate, but you will see that there's no one there. You see? There's no one there. Always men. Always think they're right and are always wrong.
Someone is ringing. There must be someone there.
I'm not going to open the door again. You've seen that it was useless. Experience teaches us that when one hears the doorbell rings, that's because there's never anyone there. Never.
That's not entirely accurate.
In fact, it's false. When one hears the doorbell ring, it means there is always someone there.
He won't admit he's wrong.
Husband is very obstinate too.
There must be someone there.
That's not impossible.
No.
Yes.
I tell you no. In any case, if you wish to know, go and look yourself.
I'll... It's the fire chief.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening, Mrs. Smith. You appear to be angry.
You see, my wife is a little chagrined at having been proven wrong.
There's been an argument between Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Miss Kashyap.
This is no business of yours! I beg you not to involve outsiders in our friendly arguments.
My dear, this is not so serious. The fire chief is an old friend of the family. Her mother courted me when I was young, and I knew her father. I promised him my daughter's hand in marriage, if I ever had one, and he died waiting.
That's neither his fault nor yours.
Well then, what is it all about?
My husband was claiming that every time...
No, it was you who was claiming!
Yes, it was she.
No, it was he!
Don't get excited. You tell me, Mrs. Smith.
Well, it is difficult for me to speak openly to you, but a firewoman is also a confessor.
Well then,
We were arguing because my husband said that each time the doorbell rings, that's because there's never anyone there.
That's plausible.
And I was saying that each time the doorbell rings, there's never anyone there.
It might seem strange.
But it has been proved, not by theoretical demonstrations, but by facts.
That is false. Since the fire chief is here, she rang the bell, I opened the door, and there she was.
When?
But just now?
Yes, but it was only when you heard the doorbell ring the fourth time that there was someone there. And the fourth time does not count.
Never. It's just the first 3 times that count.
Miss Fire Chief, permit me in my turn to ask you several questions.
go right ahead.
When I opened the door, it was really you who rang the bell?
Yes, it was I.
You were at the door and you ran in order to be admitted.
I do not deny it.
You see? I was right. When one hears the doorbell ring, it always means there is someone there. You certainly cannot say the fire chief is not someone.
Certainly not. I was speaking of only the first 3 times, since the fourth time does not count.
And when the doorbell rang the first time, was it you?
No, it was not I.
You see, the doorbell rang and there was no one there.
Perhaps it was someone else.
Yes, were you standing at the door for a long time?
3/4 of an hour.
And you saw no one?
No one, I am sure of it.
And did you hear the doorbell when it rang the second time?
Yes, I did. And it was not I, and there was still no one there.
Victory! I was right!
Not so fast. What were you doing at the door?
Nothing, I was just standing there. I was thinking of many things.
But the third time, were not you who ran?
Yes, it was I.
But when the door was open, nobody was in sight.
That is because I had hidden myself as a joke.
Don't make jokes, Miss Fire Chief. This business is too sad.
In short, we still do not know whether, when the doorbell rings, it's someone there or not.
Never anyone.
Always someone.
I am going to reconcile you. You are both partially right. When the doorbell rings, sometimes there is someone, other times there is no one.
It seems illogical to me.
I think so too.
Life is simple, really. Go on, kiss each other.
Just kissed each other a little while ago.
They kiss each other tomorrow, they have plenty of time.
Miss Fire Chief, since you helped us settle this argument, please stay. Sit down for a moment and take off your helmet.
Excuse me, I can't stay long. I should like to remove my helmet, but I haven't time to sit down. I must admit that I have come to see you for another reason. I am an official business.
And what can we do for you, Miss Fire Chief?
Pardon my indiscretion, but you do not mind? In front of them?
Say whatever you like.
We are all the friends. They tell us everything.
Speak.
Is there a fire here?
Why would you ask us that?
It is because I have been given orders to extinguish all the fires in the city.
Oh.
Yes, all.
I don't think so. I don't know. Do you want me to go and look?
There isn't a fire here. I can't smell anything burning.
None at all. You do not have a little fire in the chimney? Something burning in the attic or the cellar? A little fire just starting, at least?
I'm sorry to disappoint you, Miss Fire Chief, but I do not believe there's anything here at the moment. I promise you that I will notify as soon as we do have something.
Please do. It would be of great help.
That's a promise.
And there's nothing burning at your house either?
No, unfortunately.
Things aren't going so well
No.
just now.
Very poorly. There's been almost nothing. A chimney, a barn. Nothing important. And as there are no profits, the returns and output are very meager.
Times are bad. It's true all over. It's the same with business and agriculture as it is with fires. Nothing's prospering.
No wheat, no fire.
No floods either.
But there is some sugar.
That's because it's imported.
But it's harder in the case of fire. The tariffs are too hard.
All the same, there is the occasional asphyxiation by gas, but that's unusual too. For instance, a young woman asphyxiated herself last week. She had left the gas on.
Has she forgotten it?
No.
Oh, she thought it was her comb.
These confusions are always dangerous.
Did you go to see the match dealer?
No going there. He's insured against fires.
Why don't you go to see the Vicar of Wakefield and use my name?
I am not authorized to extinguish clergymen fires. The bishop would get angry. Besides, they extinguish all their own fires or they have them put out by Vestal virgins.
Why don't you just go see the Rajas or the Patels?
I cannot do that either. I am not authorized to extinguish their fires. They are not English, and they are yet to be naturalized, and unnaturalized citizens may have the right to have houses, but not the right to have them put out should they be burning.
Nevertheless, when they set fire to it last year, it was put out just the same.
Well, he did that himself, clandestinely. And it is not I who would report him.
Neither would I.
Miss Fire Chief, since you are not too pressed, stay a little while longer. You will be doing us a favor.
Shall I tell you some stories?
Oh yes, by all means. How charming of you.
Yes, some stories. Hurrah! And what is even more interesting is that a firewoman's stories are always true because they're based on experience.
Yes, very true. I speak from my own experience. Truth and nothing but the truth. No fiction.
That's right. Truth is never found in books, only in life.
Well, begin.
Be quiet. She's beginning.
Yeah, but don't look at me this way. You embarrass me. You know that I am shy.
Isn't she charming?
Well then, I am going to begin. But promise me you will not listen.
But if we don't listen to you, we won't hear you.
I had not thought of that.
She's just a child.
Sweet child.
Gina.
Gina. Hello.
Well then, the dog and the cow, an experimental fable. Once upon a time, another cow asked another dog, "Why have you not swallowed your trunk?" "Pardon me," replied the dog. "It is because I thought I was an elephant."
What's the moral?
Oh, that's for you to find out.
She's right.
Tell us another.
A young calf had eaten too much ground glass. As a result, it was obliged to give birth and brought forth a cow into the world. But as the calf was male, that he could not call the cow Mama, nor could he call him Papa, for he was too little. The calf was then obliged to get married, and the registry office carried out all the details completely à la mode.
À la mode de camp.
Like
You've
tribe.
heard that one before.
That was in all the papers. It happened not too far from our house.
I'll tell you another. The cock. Once upon a time, the cock tried to play the dog, but had no luck, for everyone recognized him right away.
On the other hand, the dog that wished to play the cock was never recognized.
I'll tell you one. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in for a treat because tonight, for one night only, performed by our very own Mr. Smith, is a very special performance of the amazing story that everyone can't stop talking about. A story of love, betrayal, and tragedy. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the story of The Snake and the Fox. Once upon a time, a snake came up to a fox and said, "It seems to me that I know you." "Me too," the fox replied. "Well then," replied the snake, "give me some money." "A fox don't give money," replied the tricky animal, who, in order to escape, jumped into a ravine. Full of strawberries and chicken honey. But the snake was there waiting for her with a Mephistophelian laugh. Nya, 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 nya. But the fox was there waiting for her. She then pulled out a knife, screaming, "I'm going to teach you how to live!" Then she took flight. Whoosh, turning her back. But the snake was quicker. With a well-chosen blow of his fist, he struck the middle of his forehead. My forehead! Shattering it into 1,000 pieces. No! I gotcha. And as she fell to the ground, she cried, "No! No! 4 times no! 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 I'm not your daughter!" Splat.
Interesting. That's not bad.
My congratulations.
It's not too good. I've heard it before.
But it wasn't even
Terrible.
Now is your turn, my dear.
I only know one. I'm going to tell it to you. It's called The Bouquet.
My wife has always been romantic.
She is a true English woman.
Well, here it is. Once upon a time, a fiancé gave a bouquet of flowers to his fiancée, who said, "Thanks." But before she had said, "Thanks," he, without saying a single word, took back the flowers he'd given her in order to teach her a good lesson, and he said, "I take them back." He said, "Goodbye," and took back the flowers and went off in all directions.
She's charming.
You have a wife, Mr. Smith, of whom all world is jealous.
It's true. My wife is intelligence personified. She is even more intelligent than I. In any case, she is much more feminine. Everyone says so.
Tell us another.
It is too late.
Tell us one, anyway.
I'm too tired.
Please do us a favor.
I beg you!
No.
You have a heart of ice. We are sitting hot cold.
I implore you.
Righto.
She agrees. She's going to bore us again.
No luck. I was too polite.
The head colt. My brother-in-law had on the paternal side a first cousin, whose maternal uncle had a father-in-law, whose paternal grandfather had taken as his wife a first cousin, who had married a young native, who had found a brother on one of his travels, who had married a girl of whom he was enamored and by whom he had a son, who married an intemperate lady pharmacist who was none other than the niece of an unknown fourth-class petty officer of the Royal Navy, whose adopted father had an aunt who spoke Spanish fluently, and who was perhaps the granddaughter of an engineer who died young, himself the grandson of the owner of a vineyard which produced mediocre wine, but who had a first cousin, a stay-at-home sergeant major, whose son had married a very pretty young woman, a divorcee, whose first husband was the son of a very loyal patriot, whom, in the hopes of making his fortune, had managed to bring up one of his daughters so she could marry a footman who had no Rothschild, and whose brother, after changing his trade several times, married and had a daughter whose stunted great-grandfather wore spectacles that had been given to him by a cousin of his. The brother-in-law of a man from Portugal, natural son of a miller, not too badly off, whose foster brother had married the daughter of a former country doctor, who himself was the foster brother of the son of a forester, who himself was the father of another country doctor, married 3 times in a row, his third wife.
I know that third wife, if I'm not mistaken. She ate chicken sitting on a hornet nest.
It's not the same one. As I was saying, whose third wife was the daughter of the best midwife in the region, who, early left a widow,
Like my wife.
had married a glazier so full of life, and by the daughter of the station master had a child who had burnt his bridges.
His britches.
Not his Brits game.
And had married an oyster woman whose father had a brother, mayor of a small town, whose first wife, a school teacher, had a cousin, a fly fisherman,
A fly by night.
whose cousin had married another school teacher named Marie too, whose brother had married another Marie, also a blonde school teacher,
Since she's blonde, she must be Marie.
and whose brother had been raised in Canada by an old woman, niece of a priest, who, like everybody else, had a grandmother, and like everybody else, caught a cold in the winter.
A curious story. Almost unbelievable.
If you catch a cold, you should get yourself a cold.
A useless precaution, but absolutely necessary.
Miss Fire Chief, I didn't get this story very well. When we got to the part of the grandmother of the priest, I got all mixed up.
One always gets mixed up in the hands of a priest.
Oh yes, Miss Fire Chief. Begin again. Everyone wants to hear.
I shan't be able to do that. I am on official business. Well, it depends on what the time is.
We don't have the time here.
But the clock.
It runs badly. It's contradictory. It always indicates the opposite of what the hour really is.
Madam, sir.
What do you want?
Oh,
What have you come in here for?
Well, actually, if Madam and Sir allow me, and these ladies and gentlemen too. Hello. I would like to tell a poem myself. What did she say?
I believe that our friend's maid is getting crazy. She wants to tell a story too.
Like, who does does she think she is?
Oh.
Why are you butting in?
This is really uncalled for, Mary.
Oh, but it is she. Incredible.
Yes. Incredible, incredible here. What does all this mean?
You know each other.
Oh, and how?
Oh, baby. I was so looking forward to see you at last.
Oh, this is too much. Here, in our home, in the suburbs of London.
It's not proper.
Oh, but it is she who extinguished my first fires.
I know, I'm your little fire hose.
If that is the case, my dear friends, these emotions are understandable, human, honorable.
That's it, soul. Human and honorable.
Even so, I do not like to see it. Here, among us.
She's not been properly brought up.
You have too many prejudices.
All I think it's that a maid, after all, even though it's none of my business, it's never anything but a maid.
Even if she can sometimes be rather a good detective.
Well, let me go.
Oh, no, baby, no. Don't worry. They're not that bad, I swear.
You two are very, touching. But at the same time, a little...
That's exactly the word.
a little exhibitionistic.
There is a native British modesty, forgive me for attempting yet again to define my thoughts, not understood by foreigners, even by specialists like us, things to which, if I may thus express myself, of course I don't mean to refer to you.
Ah! As I was going to say...
Don't say anything.
Okay, yes.
Go, my little Marys. Go quietly to the kitchen and read your poems before the mirror.
Even though I'm not a maid, I also read poems before the mirror.
This morning when you looked at yourself in the mirror, you didn't see yourself.
That's because I wasn't there yet.
Okay, I'm going to tell a poem now. It's agreed. This poem is called The Fire, and it is for the fire chief. Okay, I'm going to begin now. The fire.
The lollipops are burning in the wall. The forest caught fire! The men caught fire! The evening caught fire, the sky caught fire, the garden caught fire, the theater caught fire! The ashes caught fire! The fire caught fire! Everything caught fire! Caught
Fire! Caught fire!
That sent chills up to my spine.
Yet there is a certain warmth in those lines.
I thought it was marvelous.
All the same.
You're exaggerating.
I must admit that it is all a bit subjective. But this is my perception of the world. My world. My truth. My ideal. Actually, this reminds me that I must leave. And since you do not have the time here, I must tell you that it is exactly 3/4 of an hour and 16 minutes. I am having a fire at the other end of the city, and I must hurry, even though it will be quite unimportant.
What will it be? A little chimney fire?
Not even that. Perhaps a straw fire. Or maybe a little hot burn.
Well, we're sorry to see you go.
You have been very entertaining. Thanks to you, we had passed a truly Cartesian quarter of an hour.
Well, speaking of that, the Bald Soprano?
She always wears her hair in the same style.
Huh. Well then, ladies and gentlemen, goodbye.
Good luck and good fire.
Well, let's hope so.
Good fire.
For everybody.
I can buy a pocket knife for my brother, but you can't buy iron for your brother.
One walks on his feet, but one heats with electricity or coal.
He who knocks today will have an egg tomorrow.
In real life, one must look out of the window.
One can sit on a chair when a chair doesn't have it.
One must always think of everything.
When I say yes, it's only a matter of speaking.
To each his own.
Take a circle, caress it, and it will turn vicious.
The schoolmaster teaches his pupils to read, but the cat suckles her young when they are small.
Nevertheless, it was the cow that gave us tails.
When I'm in the countryside, I love the solitude and the quiet.
You are not old yet.
Benjamin Franklin was right. You are more nervous than he.
What are the 7 days of the week?
And Sunday.
Don't be turkeys. Rather kiss the conspirator.
I prefer a bird in a bush to a sparrow in a
Mice
barrel.
have
Rather
mice.
to kill a rabbit.
Lice have
To
mice.
sing in the garden.
Mice have lice.
I'm looking for a Montecite
Lice
priest
and
to marry
mice.
our maid.
If I give you my mother-in-law's secret,
One can prove that the social progress is definitely better
Rather
I
steak
don't
and champagne
enough.
than
I can't make myself understood.
cockatoos.
I don't know
Cockatoos,
how to make myself
cockatoos.
understood. I don't know how to spend a day there. So I
These the Pope, the
Horoscope,
the horoscope,
my windmill. All the animals come and see me at my windmill.
seduced.
with polishing.
Vaya, ya son las 9. Hoy hemos tomado sopa, patatas con tocino, ensalada española. Los niños han bebido agua española. Hoy hemos comido muy bien. Eso es porque vivimos a las afueras de Madrid y nos apellidamos Martínez. Las patatas con tocino estaban muy bien y el aceite de la ensalada no estaba rancio. Y el aceite de la tienda de ultramarinos de la esquina es de mucho mejor calidad que el aceite de ultramarinos de la tienda de arriba de la cuesta y también mejor que el aceite de ultramarinos de la calle de enfrente. Pero eso no quiere decir que el aceite de aquellos sea malo. Pero el aceite de ultramarinos de la tienda de la esquina sigue siendo el mejor.
Lights.